say, Yahweh rebuke you, you foul, stinking demon. End of story. We don't have conversations. We don't have long good. Yahweh rebuke you, even Yahweh who was chosen, Yerushalayim rebuke you. The blood of Yeshua destroys you in Yeshua's name. End of story. That's what taking authority means. If you got to keep repeating a mantra, you're not taking authority. You're going through calisthenics with your mouth. If you feel you have to rebuke Satan 99 times before he pays attention, then maybe she's sleeping. If you've got the authority of Yahweh, you command it, and that's it. The first time. It doesn't have to become a mantra. So here's my question to you. They were wrestling, and Michael didn't say, now look, I am the chief messenger, I am the warring messenger, I am the chief Makoyan, and don't you know who you're talking to? I can destroy entire nations. Michael didn't act that way. He said, Yahweh rebuke you. S period A period 10. You want the body of Moshe Rabbeinu? You can't have it. So Satan never had the body of Moshe, but he sure tried to get it. You see that? Come on. He tried to get it. Well, if it was in the earth, he could have gotten it, couldn't he? If Moshe Rabbeinu was buried in the earth, couldn't Satan have gotten the body of Moshe? Why did he have to wrestle Michael over the body of Moshe? The mystery even deepens. According to our sages, Moshe was kind of not buried. He was buried. The word of Yahweh says clearly he was buried, but it's not that clear. It used to be clear before I showed up on the Shabbat. Now I don't know if the Israelites buried their leader, or if I don't know if Yahweh buried his servant. And now I don't even know where he was buried. And now I don't know who wrote the end of Devarim, if it was Yehoshua or if it was Moshe, through tears.
Fix it.
Moshe's tears for garden joy. According to Sukkot, Talmud Sukkot 5a, it says the following. Not only was Moshe's body protected from worms and had dominion over worms. What does it mean to have dominion over worms? Not to experience decay. The only way you can have dominion over worms is not to experience decay. Now this is not extra biblical. Jude, chapter verse 9, teaches us the same thing. There had to be a body over which there was a fight or a wrestling match to obtain. It says the following, our sages say the following. Moshe ascended upon his death. Not to heaven, but 10 handbreadths. What's a handbreadth? The size of a hand. Right? Yeah. Handbreadths. Meaning something mystical happened here, where he was neither left in the earth, but he also was not in heaven. He was in the aire, or the first atmosphere above, hovering over the earth, and that's where Satan lives. He's the prince of the power of the air.
That's right.
Come on.
This is Bible. There was a battle between Michael and S period A period 10 in the air, in the first atmosphere over the earth, because Moshe was not buried in the earth. He was not taken up to heaven like Eliyahu or Elijah. Yahweh hovered him. He buried him in a place, and that's why nowhere's where to find him. No one knows where his grave is. Did Israel bury him? I don't know. Did Yahweh bury him? Yeah. But if Yahweh buried him, he's not going to bury him in the earth. If Yahweh buries him, he'll bury him somewhere man can never find him. Somewhere where worms cannot control his decay, a body that might decay. So, did Yahweh bury Moshe? Yeah. Did Yahweh bury him so that his body would not decay? Yeah. Does any man know where his body is? No. Could he have written the last 8 verses about his own demise? Absolutely. And he wrote it probably through tears. And Joshua also could have written it.
Yes, yes.
And how did Yahweh bury him in the atmosphere, in the air? With a kiss. By the word of Yahweh. He died not according to man's death pattern. He died according to the word. There was a special rhema word, a specific word upon. It's not that simple. If you thought the Shroud of Turin was controversial, is this the last burial napkin? You know, there's heat here, there's heat. There's an image of some Jewish guy with a big nose, gotta be Jesus. It's a Jewish guy with a big nose. There's plenty of Jewish people with big noses. What makes the Shroud of Turin just because there's a Jewish guy with a big nose? Don't even get me started, please. Because he died by the word of Yahweh. And so the sages say it wasn't just a word, it was a kiss. Job well done. Because in Israel, there has never risen a greater prophet than Moshe Rabbeinu. Never. It's funny how all these weird religions, they canonize saints. Saint this, Saint Agnes, Saint Maurice, Saint Chevalier, Saint Nick, Saint Teresa, Mother Teresa, Sister Teresa, Brother Teresa. Everybody's a saint. The word of Yahweh tells us very clearly, in the history of the human race, there has not been born a greater prophet than Moshe Rabbeinu. I told you earlier, to say Moshe's name in vain, to take it and use it in a pejorative manner, was a capital offense. It brought death, just like the Muslims treat the name of Muhammad today. So was Moshe buried? Absolutely. The only question is where. Did Yahweh bury him? Apparently. Did Satan know where the grave was? Obviously not. He could have gone into the grave and picked up the body. He caught Michael with the body. Michael? What's Michael doing? The archangel, Michael.
Guarding Israel.
He's guarding Israel and Israel's Torah giver.
Hallelujah.
He's guarding the body for a future purpose.
That's right.
What purpose? I'm glad you asked. Go to Gileanah 11:11. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Gileanah 11:6.
Hallelujah. I know you were going there.
Amen, brother. He died according to the kiss of Yahweh, a kiss that would preserve him. Not only did the kiss of Yahweh preserve him, he said, Michael, what are you doing? Are you busy? No, Master Yahweh. Guard that body. No man can know where it is, and no demon, and no Satan, and no malevolent spirit will know where it is. You guard it. And Satan, who is the prince of the power of the air, saw Michael on guard, on duty, with the body of Moshe,
In the air.
and he attacked. And Satan attacked. Gileanah 11:6. But remember, the grave of Moshe was created where? Right before the Shabbat. Wait a second. Somewhere I read, and I don't remember where, that, and so the heavens and the earth were completed. And then Yahweh rested on the 7th day. The heavens and the earth were completed. What if Yahweh prepared Moshe's burial place in the heavens and the earth. And if the heavens, including the lowest heaven or the air, was completed, then the sages are right. The grave of Moshe was the last thing Yahweh made before he rested on the Shabbat. My. But I've always wondered how Moshe Rabbeinu could be one of the two witnesses.
Yeah.
He's dead. You know that, I know that, she knows that, he knows that, we knew that, they knew that, we knew that, Mama knew that. Everybody knows Moshe's dead.
Yes.
But not you.
But how can he be one of the two witnesses if he's dead? Now, Eliyahu can.
Yeah.
Chanok, Enoch can.
Yeah.
But Moshe is dead. You can't witness if you're dead. For anyone. Now we go to verse 6. I always get this all the time. FAQ, frequently asked questionnaires. Dear Brother Moshe, and I told you when I get those letters, I start shaking big time. Because I know they got either an anti-Semitic spirit, or they have a misunderstanding, or they don't understand, and they don't want to, give honor to whom honor is due. And it's Brother Moshe. I know, these are the same ones. If I don't answer the question the way they want, the next letter is, why do you call yourself rabbi? Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Okay. So, I get this all the time. Who are the two witnesses? First, the first thing before we can answer that is they are two houses. Let's see this. There was given to me a reed like a rod, and the heavenly malach stood, saying, Arise, measure the sukkah of Yahweh, the altar, those that worship in it, but the court that is outside Beis Hamikdash, leave out. Do not measure it. It is given for the Gentiles. The set-apart city shall be traveled for 42 months, 3.5 years. I will give power, Gileanah 11:3. I will give power to my two witnesses. They will prophesy 1,260 days, 3.5 years, clothed in sackcloth. These are two olive trees. Circle those words, olive trees. And two menorot or menorahs. What's a menorah? Look at me. There's a menorah standing before Elohim. So number one, look at me. The two witnesses, before we know who they are represented by two olive trees or two menorahs. Now, we know that in Zechariah chapter 4, the two olive trees are the two witnesses, Judah and Ephraim, the two houses that stand before the Yahweh of the heavens and the earth. So we know from Zechariah chapter 4, the two olive trees are the two witnesses, Beit Yehudah and Bet Ephraim. But who are these two menorahs? Go to Gileanah 131. Gileanah 131, and you'll have your answer. Make that 120. Gileanah 120. The mystery of the 7 Kochavim, stars, that you saw in my right hand, and the 7 golden menorahs, 7 of these golden menorahs. The 7 Kochavim, stars, are the 7 teaching overseers of the 7 Israelite congregations. And the 7, listen, the 7 menorahs, or menorot, plural, the 7 menorot are the 7 Israelite congregations. 6 menorahs, 6 congregations. 7 menorahs, 7 congregations. 5 menorahs, 5 congregations. 4 menorahs, 4 congregations. In the end times, a menorah represents a single assembly of believers. If you have 2 assemblies of believers, you've got how many menorahs? 2 menorahs. Go back to Revelation 11:4. So the 2 olive trees are synonymous with the 2 menorahs who stand before Elohim. So the 2 menorahs are the 2 houses. So we know this much. 2 living witnesses, 1 from Judah, 1 from Ephraim.
Hallelujah.
1 witness coming from each house.
True.
Now here are the clues. Verse 5. You'll see everything but their name. Here are the clues. Verse 5. If any man hurts them, fire proceeds from their mouth and devours their enemies. If any man hurts them, he must be in like manner killed. These 2 witnesses are characterized by these 2 manifestations. They have power to shut the shamayim, that it does not rain in the days of their prophecy. Who's that? Who shut the heavens and that it did not rain in the days of Melech Achav? Eliyahu commanded the heavens not to rain, and then he commanded the heavens to open, and they opened. The first witness is the one who never died, Eliyahu. But the second witness also must be one who never died, because otherwise he can't be a living witness. Let's continue. And the other one has power to shut the heavens, and the other one has power over the Mayim, the water, to turn the Mayim, the water, into dam, blood, and to smite the Olam with plagues. Who smote the Olam and who the worldly Egypt? Who smote worldly Egypt, and who smote the Nile River so that it was turned from water into dam? The two witnesses. How can that be? Eliyahu was an Ephraimite from the northern kingdom of Ephraim. He was a Gileadite from the northern kingdom, which is why he prophesied to King Achav in the north, the house of Israel. Levi, what happened to the tribe of Levi, Levi? Levi merged with Judah and Benjamin to form the southern kingdom of Yehudah. So initially the Leviim were not Jews, but when they merged with Judah and Benjamin in the southern kingdom, they were considered Jews.
Yes.
Make sense? So Levi today, Jews, if you meet a Jewish person in a pizza store, they come from Judah, Benjamin, or Levi. Those are the three tribes. Benjamin, a Jew means either from Benjamin, Levi, or Judah. So what was Moshe? He was a Levite. Because the Levites joined the house of Yehudah. So we have one witness from Yehudah, Moshe, one witness from Eliyahu, but we know Eliyahu was taken to heaven according to 2 Melachim chapter 2. We know he was taken to heaven. We don't know that about Moshe, or do we? Well, we kind of getting the picture now, aren't we? I said we're kind of getting the picture. Yahweh knew, listen, that Moshe Rabbeinu would be one of the two witnesses in the Great Tribulation. So therefore he must die, yes, but die like you and me, no.
No.
Yahweh found a way for Moshe to die, unlike you and I will experience death until Yeshua returns. So it would be heresy for your rabbi to say Moshe never died. I'm not saying that. Please make sure you understand, that I understand, that you understand, that he understands, that she understands, that I'm not teaching Moshe didn't die. The opposite. I'm teaching Moshe did die, but not in the way that is common to man. Yahweh buried him, and the children of Israel buried him.
There's two of them.
The children of Israel put him in the ground. Yahweh didn't let his body see corruption. Yahweh took that body before Satan got that body, buried him in the air, in the atmosphere. Don't ask me how, because I am not into that kind of physics or metaphysics. Buried him in the air. Satan got wind of that plan, because he's the prince of the power of the air, and said, I want the body of Moshe. Yahweh said to Michael, said, Yahweh rebuke you. No one's touching this until the end times, when Moshe is revealed as one of the two witnesses. And the reason I'm burying him here and keeping Michael on guard as a bodyguard for safekeeping is he's got a private purpose for the end times, and you cannot wrestle or mess with that prescribed purpose.
Do that.
So how can Moshe be one of the two witnesses? He must be alive. He must have escaped death of a common man. And yet, he did die. We know that's a fact. We know he died. Make sense?
Yes.
What do our sages teach? His grave was prepared where? When? When was his grave prepared? The last thing prepared before the Shabbat. And if you read Bereshit, what did it say? And thus, just go there. Just go there.
Bereshit chapter 1.
Go to Bereshit chapter 1. You'll see Moshe's grave.
Yeah.
Don't get excited.
I got something to share.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Get something here.
Tov, tov, tov. Tov, tov. Bereshis. Bereshis 2:1. And the Shemayim and the earth were finished, and all their hosts. And on the seventh day Elohim ended his work that he had made. By the way, the Dead Sea Scrolls say the sixth day. On the sixth day Elohim ended his work, which makes more sense, that he had made, and rested on the seventh day. What was the last thing he made before he rested? What was the last thing he declared to be finished, I should say, before he rested? The Shemayim and the earth. And the rabbis teach that within the Shemayim, not the highest Shemayim, the lowest Shemayim. The Shemayim is a Hebrew word meaning heavens, not heaven, but heavens. So in the highest heaven is Yahweh. In the second heaven also are Melachim and others. And in the lowest heaven, he found a way. And don't ask me how, because if I knew how, I'd be Yahweh. He found a way to bury Moshe so that no man knows where his grave was. But he allowed Israel to mourn over Moshe for 30 days and gave him a proper burial so they knew where his grave was. And Yahweh says, now do you see it? Now do you see it? Now you don't. And Satan didn't like that. Satan goes, I knew where I could find Moshe Rabbeinu because I want to stop Yahweh's plan for the end times. I want to stop Yeshua's coming. I want to stop Yeshua's kingdom. I want to stop the Malchut HaShamayim. So if I can get Moshe's body, the two witnesses can't be the two witnesses, and Yahweh's plan has been thwarted.